Picture this. You've got a massive, high-stakes exam coming up. You grab a dense, 50-page chapter, feed it straight into your AI, and bam! 3 seconds later, you've got a beautiful, perfectly formatted, bulleted summary. You feel like a genius, right? Incredibly productive. But cut to a week later, you're sitting in the exam hall, staring at the paper, and your mind goes completely blank. Then it hits you. A pretty harsh truth, actually. The AI learned the material, but you didn't. Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're fixing that.
So here is the big question we absolutely have to tackle today. Is AI actually just hiding your ignorance? We're going on a bit of a journey to completely rewire how you study. We're going to take AI from being this dangerous little shortcut that masks what you don't know and transform it into a powerful mirror that actually sharpens your mind.
Right off the bat, let's lay down the golden rule for this entire explainer. Seriously, if you remember one thing, make it this. AI should reduce confusion, not reduce your understanding. If you're just using AI to bypass the hard work of thinking, you are doing it wrong. AI isn't here to do the heavy lifting for your brain. It's here to support and elevate the thinking you're already doing.
There's this huge hidden danger in over-relying on AI summaries. Think of a massive, bulky blanket. When AI compresses a complex textbook chapter, it's basically like taking that blanket and folding it up as tight as possible. Now, it's way easier to carry, and it definitely saves you time. But because it's folded so tightly, all the wrinkles, the crucial nuances, the vital little distinctions, they completely disappear from sight. The wrinkles are still there in reality. You just can't see them anymore. So you might be carrying around a smaller set of notes, but you are carrying a much, much weaker understanding.
Okay, let's move into Section 1, demystifying the machine, and looking at what AI actually does. It really helps to just strip away the sci-fi magic for a second. AI is not some tiny human tutor living in your laptop. It doesn't actually teach you, and it definitely doesn't understand your personal goals or how stressed you are about finals. At its core, it is simply a highly advanced pattern-making machine for words, ideas, and the relationships between them. It looks at massive amounts of data and predicts what should come next. That's the whole shebang. So how do we use that pattern-making to our advantage? Well, AI essentially performs 4 core functions. First, it organizes information, making ideas way easier to see. Second, it compresses information. This saves time, but like we saw with the folded blanket, it can totally hide the details. Third, it predicts patterns, which helps you notice connections you might have missed. And fourth, the most important one, it reflects your thinking back to you, revealing the gaps in your knowledge. Imagine dumping a giant bag of mixed spices right onto your kitchen table. It's just this chaotic blur of colors and smells, right? Totally overwhelming. Well, that's exactly what a dense syllabus feels like at the start of a semester. AI acts like a super fast, masterful sorter. It isolates the cumin into one neat pile and the chili into another. It isn't creating the knowledge out of thin air, but it structures the blur so your brain can actually hold on to it. Remember, when you feel confused, it's usually not a lack of intelligence, it's just a lack of structure. Which brings us to Section 2, rewiring your system with the active learning loop. Look, most of us treat studying like a static pile of chores. You know the drill. Read a chapter, highlight some notes, ask an AI for a quick summary, and just cross your fingers hoping it somehow sticks in your brain. That method is incredibly fragile. We need to ditch that and shift to a true learning loop. This is a dynamic, continuous process where AI is actually integrated into the whole journey, not just used as a vending machine for the final answer.
Let's break down the 4 stages of this loop. Stage 1 is input. Use AI to simplify and organize the raw material. Stage 2 is understanding. Don't just passively read. Ask the AI to compare examples or explain things in plain English. Stage 3 is practice. Have the AI generate real-world scenarios where you actually have to try and use the information. And finally, Stage 4 is correction. Use AI to point out your weak spots. The secret sauce here? Your brain learns best when it has to sweat a little bit and do some heavy lifting before the AI steps in to help.
Because at the end of the day, AI summaries are just maps. They are not the road itself. A map gives you the general shape of an idea, which is awesome for navigation. But you still have to lace up your boots, step outside, and travel the road yourself to understand the true weight and reality of that terrain. If you just spend all your time collecting AI maps, you're going to feel incredibly informed, but you won't actually be able to travel anywhere when test day arrives.
Moving right along to Section 3. Here, we'll cast AI into 3 specific roles: the explainer, the partner, and the detector.
Instead of treating AI like a magic 8-ball that gives you all the answers, treat it like your personal academic staff. First up, it's the explainer. Have it reword those incredibly dense paragraphs to help you cross that initial barrier of confusion. Second, it's your practice partner. Ask it to whip up short quizzes or why questions to build your capability. Don't just recognize the information, actively retrieve it. And third, this is an absolute game changer. It's the error detector. Have it actively challenge your explanations to expose any fuzziness in your logic.
I'm going to hit you with a bold truth here. Friction is a feature. Normally, we use technology to remove friction, right? To make our lives instantly easier. But using AI as an error detector intentionally introduces useful friction, making it the most underrated study hack out there. When you try to explain a complex concept to an AI and it points out exactly where your logic falls apart, that sudden gap isn't a failure. It is pure, high-value data.
We really have to draw a hard line between helpful and harmful usage here. Helpful use is asking AI to clarify a confusing point after you've already tried to wrestle with it yourself. Harmful use? That's asking AI to do the entire assignment before your brain is even woken up for the day. One approach builds mental muscle, the other deceptively makes you feel super productive while completely bypassing the actual mental work that creates durable, long-term learning.
Think of AI as a walking stick for your mind. If you're on a steep, rocky path, a walking stick is incredibly helpful for keeping your balance. But, and this is a big but, it only works if you are actively moving your own feet. If you just stop walking and lean your entire body weight on the stick, you aren't going anywhere. AI supports your momentum. It doesn't create it for you.
All right, our fourth and final section, building a new identity as a confident AI user.
It really all comes back to one simple, undeniable truth. Memory is not built by seeing a piece of information once. It is built by revisiting it in different forms. This is the core logic behind why this whole system works so well. You use AI to look at an idea as a definition, then maybe as an analogy, and then as a counterexample. That repeated contact from totally different angles is exactly what cements that knowledge permanently in your brain. So next time you hit a wall, stop seeing a confusing textbook definition as an obstacle blocking your path. A confident learner treats confusion as data. They don't just passively read and give up. They use AI to break down, compare, and test that confusing information, literally making their own thinking visible. You are the one steering the technology. You don't just sit there waiting for it to tell you what to think.
Which brings us to our final lingering thought. Are you using AI to avoid thinking, or are you actually using it to think better? This incredibly powerful tool is sitting right there on your desk, just waiting for your instructions. The choice of how you use it is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time as we keep deciphering the world around us.